It's weird to be back. I'm not home, but I'm not at my internship. And it's weird to be in that in-between stage of school being right around the corner, but then just being here. And being outside the work environment and finally being able to be in a different stage of my life right now is nice. It's weird to say that it's nice because literally a week ago, I was at my internship, clocked in for probably about an hour now because it's like 9:59, and my head was an entirely different headspace, mindset, whatever you want to call it. And just being there, honestly, the last week made me question if I wanted my passions. Like, it made me question my passions. It made me question, do I even want to start something? Do I even want to be an entrepreneur? Do I even want to have my own company? And at the end of that, I was like, not really. I kind of just want to slow down a bit and have a chill job. Have a regular job that lets me do the things that I want to do. Which there's nothing wrong with someone having a non-entrepreneur business job. That's not what I'm going for. But it's the crazy part from the different mindset of your environment. Because your brain is so used to being wired at a certain level or a certain degree. But then when you go somewhere else, it changes. It's different. It's not the same, and it's not at the same frequency. And just being aware of that is so important, because then you can realize, oh, I'm feeling this. Is that me, or is that my environment? Because there are little pieces of truth within every single feeling that you have. And sometimes it's going to be super big and super loud, and then other times it's going to be super small, but it's the truth. Small tells like that are indicators of how you're feeling, of how you are, of how stressed you are, honestly. And I think when I started to feel like, oh, I don't want to do business, I don't want to do anything like that, it could have and would have and kind of should have been my tell that maybe I'm just a little too much into this, or in a sense of I'm not thinking outside of myself. Because I saw like these TikToks, and it's like people traveling, people pursuing their dreams and their passions, and like poetry. And there was this one clip, and it was talking about how none of this is permanent. How you shouldn't regret the things that you do, but rather the things that you don't do. Imagine. Because when you start thinking about not regretting the things that you have done, but rather the things that you haven't done, it's a completely different ballgame. Because you really, I shouldn't say this, but like, just like from like what I imagine, I highly do not imagine very often someone being like, oh, I regret doing this big life event, or I regret doing this life event. Because you mostly hear that people are like, this one decision that I made was a life changer, and I couldn't have imagined if I wouldn't have done that. Or, I'm so glad I went through this hard time because this worst thing was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. People don't say they regret mostly doing big decisions, at least that I have heard of. Maybe you have, and that's different, and that's different context. but it's the things that the people that they wish they would have done. I wish I would have traveled more. I wish I would have had more fun. I wish I wouldn't have stressed as much. I wish I would have yada, yada, yada. And at certain times, you have to realize life isn't that deep. It's as deep as you make it appear. And sometimes things in life are very deep, that you have to go through those hard times, that you have to struggle, that you have to be in the hole, to crawl yourself out, to dig yourself out, to learn that you can do something that's hard. Because that hard, that challenging obstacle thing that's in your way is leading you to somewhere else that's better. I will say this till the cows come home. You want something that your future self already has. Okay, I will repeat that. Your future self already has the thing that you want, and that is the reason why you want it. I'm thinking of starting like a club at my school, and it helps bring women together. It helps bring females together, and we do fun things together, yada yada yada. We're gonna improve our health. That's my plan, and I've already got things lined up. I don't know. I literally thought of this on a whim because I was talking with my friend, and she's like, yo, if we did this, would you join it? And she was like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, if there's one person in the market, good, because that's the only person that I need. Because word travels faster than advertisement. You never, ever, ever see Rolex on an advertisement on your TV. You never see Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada on your TV. You never see a Rolls Royce on your TV. Because every single brand that I named, hopefully, you know already. You've heard of them at least. That is the power that word has. And when your words come out, they have power. And you have to harness that power. Because everything that you say can be done, and everything that you do can be said. It's to the point of where in which you have to put your words to action. When you have to put your words to action, or I think it's like, don't put your foot in your mouth, or something like, I don't know. Maybe that's not the right term. You know how I am with my phrases, but regardless, your future self has something that you want. And you want that now, but you already have it in the future. So just go for it. Because what is there to stop you? The worst thing that you do is try. Just try. And maybe it's that new hobby that you have. And maybe it's that, I don't even know. It's that thing that you know that I'm talking about for you. Because the worst, I saw this, and it's resonated with me so much, is that the worst type of success is the success, or let me retry that. The worst type of success is the type that you're good at something that you hate. I'm sorry if that didn't make sense. It's basically just saying, like, I was trying to be like flowy with it. Didn't work out. But it's basically just like being good at something that you don't like. Being successful. Okay, let me retry that. Being successful. I don't even know. Never mind. My head is all over the place. But it's just basically saying the worst type of success is being successful at something that you don't like. There, I said it. Okay. Sorry. That was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. But that's what I'm saying. The worst type of success is being successful at something that you absolutely hate. Because you don't like it. You don't care. You don't take any pride in it. And it's not worth it. And so then that's why you just have to offshoot. That's why you have to try something new. That's why you have to try something different. That's why you have to be uncomfortable, because your path wasn't made through easy things. Like, your path wasn't created for you to do easy things to get there. Because, okay, imagine yourself, you're climbing up a really, 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 really big hill or mountain or whatever, or you're canoeing. I don't know what activity or journey that you like to do. But imagine yourself on a really, really, really long journey. And it's hard. And it's difficult. But then at the end, that finish point, it's the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. But the thing is, not every single person is going to see that view in the world. Not every single person is going to reach the top of Mount Everest. Literally the same way of thinking, but translated into life. And let's say someone did reach that same point as you. Let's say someone didn't, and maybe they're a little bit below you or above you or whatever. Doesn't matter. They are going to see that view in a different way. They are going to see and experience and feel so much more different than anything that you are feeling, thinking, and observing. Because your two experiences are completely different. The journey that you had to do was so much different. Because think about it. Imagine you took 5 years to climb Mount Everest. I don't really know how long. I don't think it takes that long. I think it's like at least like 6 months or something. I don't know. I know it's at least like a hot second. Imagine you climb up that whole entire way. You properly ascend. You take your breaks, yada yada. You go through altitude sickness. There. And you reach the top of that view. And then all of a sudden you see someone fly up there, drop that person off, and be like, wow, this is a really nice view, isn't it? And you're just over here huffing and puffing and like, you know, they're not going to appreciate the view the same way that you did. Because you did all that hard work when they just plop. And on the flip side, somebody who's already climbed that mountain and who's already had that altitude sickness, and this is their like 5th time coming up on that mountain, they're gonna have a different appreciation of life. Because they're like, wow, I remember when I was in your stage, I was having a really hard time like you did too. But you were gonna do great, and I believe in you, and you've gotten this far. So just continue, come back down, try again, and it's a lot easier the second ascension. Or, from another perspective, somebody who has already done the hard work and has done the ascensions before, and then they fly up to the top because they've already experienced altitude sickness, or I don't even know. I'm just giving an idea of how I think this is. It's not true. Please don't. I have no background of this. But let's say somebody who flies up and has done this like 5 times walking up the mountain, and they're like, bloop, wow, this is a really nice view. I'm so glad I could fly. But I know how hard that climb was. That's the thing. Your experience is so much different than the other person's experience. And it's not going to be the same. And it shouldn't be the same. Because each of our journeys is so much more different. And you might as well enjoy the hardship of the journey to the top in which that you want to climb. Because sometimes it's the worst type of success and the worst feeling to be able to reach the epitome, the top, the max, the best. It's something that you don't even like. Imagine you don't even really like hiking and you're like, yo, I made it to the top. Now let's go down. What was all that hard work for? Lessons learned, learning what you like and don't like, and learning how to do something hard, especially when you don't like it. Because those lessons that you learned during that hike will help you enjoy the ride of maybe canoeing the rapids, the Grand Rapids, or skiing down a mountain. I don't know, whatever. But the point is, the hard times in doing something that you don't like, being successful at something that you hate, being challenged at something that you don't like, and yet still being good at it, teaches you how to continue for when you can finally pursue that thing that you truly enjoy. Because this is literally what I kept telling myself during my internship. Imagine how hard of a worker you will be when you finally get to pursue something that you genuinely enjoy. Because yeah, I worked my butt off during my internship. Yeah, I got the progress and the results that I wanted and my mentor wanted. Yes, I did get X, Y, and Z done. Did I enjoy doing it? No. Do I appreciate what he does? Of course I do. It's hard. I did it for 2 months. That's hard. But it taught me how to do something that I do not like, but to do it well. But it also taught me the type of success that I don't want. Being successful at something that I don't really enjoy. And that is the hardest thing in life. But the hardest things in life will teach you the best things that no textbook, no motto, no person could ever tell you. Because you have to live it, to experience it, to learn it. Food for thought.